Jesus left us with two great things, the Great Commandment and the Great Commission. But did you know there was a third great? Coming up. Hello, my name is Brian Mpora, a man that wears many hats. I am the husband to a wonderful lady, Juliet Mpora. I am a father to two wonderful children, Shama and Sherry. I serve as a pastor at Eden Revival Church in Kampala, Uganda. I am a teacher in the New Life Advanced Bible College. I'm the principal of the Wealth Creation class and a businessman. How am I able to do all this? That's why I'm here as your life coach to help you thrive in 5 fundamental facets of your life: faith, purpose, health, marriage, and money. My mission is to help you navigate these life aspects, thus helping you achieve a more fulfilled and happier life. Hello, I'm just from a wedding, and I was the preacher today. I thought that perhaps I should share with you the things that I've been talking about. I was talking about the great commitment. If you're a Christian and you're a follower of Jesus, you know about these two great things that Jesus talked about. Jesus talked about the Great Commandment and the Great Commission. The Great Commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength. And the Great Commission is go into all the world and preach the gospel to all nations. But I discovered that there is something that perhaps we do not talk about so much, which I call the Great Commitment. It is found in Matthew chapter 19 from verse 3 to 9. In this story, Pharisees come to Jesus and they want to test him with a tricky question. They tell him, should we be divorcing our wives for any reason, every reason? You know why they were asking this? It's because the situation was a bit funny when it comes to marriage. You could divorce your wife over anything. If they cook badly, you write them a certificate of divorce and you chase them. If they speak to you badly, you write a certificate of divorce and off you send them away. They did this because in the laws of Moses in Deuteronomy, there was a certain clause that was saying that instead of just sending your wife away, at least write her a certificate of divorce. So these people took it on and they would divorce for each and every reason. So Jesus took them back to the beginning. He says it was not that way in the beginning. So he says that for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and he will be joined to his wife. And then he says, therefore what God has joined together, let no man separate it. So what makes the marriage to be a great commitment? Marriage is a great commitment because it requires you to prioritize it above any human relationship. When it says a man shall leave his father and mother, a parent is the one that you've grown up with, you have their influence, they have educated you. I mean, most of what you know comes from your parents, whether it's your biological parents who raised you, any kind of parent. By the time you leave that person to be joined to another person, it means you have left the most important relationship in your life, because this new relationship is of paramount importance. It is actually more important than the relationship you have with your parent. So, marriage is the great commitment because it is to be prioritized above every human relationship. So if I can prioritize it above my parents' relationship, then I can prioritize it above my friends. It means that you need to prioritize your relationship with your spouse even above the relationship you have with your friends. If you go out together, you watch football up to 11, and yet it is having issues, it is affecting your relationship with your spouse, then you need to put that aside. I had friends when I was single that I used to move out with, and maybe would go and have some hang out together, maybe go for a party together. And I noticed that after marriage, one of my friends was telling me, but you used to call me and we used to go out. What happened? A new relationship came up that is to be prioritized above every other relationship. The reason why some marriages don't work is because people have prioritized their relationship with their parents, they have prioritized their relationship with their siblings, brothers and sisters, they have prioritized their relationship with their friends. They are so attached to other relationships that they do not give the attention to this one that it deserves. So, if you are to succeed in marriage, know that it is a great commitment. You have to prioritize it above every other relationship. Okay? Not only people, not only relationships with people, but your relationship with other things, maybe games. I used to have an app on my phone. I like chess, and chess would take a lot of my time that I do not give enough time to my wife. Every time my wife would get me in a free time, she would find me playing chess. She would start asking, hey, you're playing chess now, eh? You're playing chess. I realized that this is having a negative effect on my relationship. So what did I do? I long pressed the app, selected uninstall, and off went the chess app. I do not want anything to be prioritized above the relationship I have with my wife. Perhaps you're learning something that you should not prioritize any friend, you should not prioritize any relationship. You should not. I'm not saying do away with these things. I'm saying priority matters. Priority matters. So marriage is the great commitment because it is to be prioritized above any other relationship. Secondly, second point I talked about is that marriage is a great commitment because it is officiated by God Himself. God Himself is the one who officiated it. Here in this scripture, Jesus said, therefore what God has joined together, let no man separate. So you find you're at a wedding, we have an officiating priest, like my bishop has been officiating this ceremony, and you think he's the one who has officiated. Yes, he has done the officiation, but he has done it on behalf of God. It is God who joins these people. So how can you separate what God has joined? It's God Himself who has put two people together. That makes it a great commitment. A great, great commitment. It means that in this relationship, you have to fight to make sure that you stick to it. If we read Malachi chapter 2, verse 15, it says, didn't the Lord make you one with your wife? Who made you one with your wife? The Lord. Didn't the Lord make you one with your wife? So who am I to put asunder what God has joined together and made one? Some people forget this. When they have issues, when they have misunderstandings, they forget this, that it is God who joined these people. It is God who put the two together. But when you are reminded that this was done by God, if I try to put it asunder, I'm going to be answerable to God who put this together. Then you will change your ways. You'll change, you'll not see the hardships as the most important thing. I tell you, you can go through any challenge that comes to you in marriage, in the worst of challenges. That's why in the vows they say, for better, for worse, for richer, and for poorer. Actually, it is in those worst times, it is in those poorer times, it is in those sickness times that your commitment is tested. I had such an experience several years ago. My wife was pregnant with her second born, my daughter Sherry. And she got so sick. She got what I learned from her to be called hyperemesis gravidarum, excessive morning sickness. You're spitting all the time, you're basically sick, you just want to keep at home. But on top of that, she got what I got to know as a threatened abortion. Her cervix broke, and it means that the contents that were in her cervix had to come out. So to be able to protect that baby, she was recommended complete bed rest, Means everything is done for her in the bed. So I thought about it and I said, maybe should I call her mother? But then as I was still contemplating, I remembered the vows that our Bishop, Maurice Mukenya, took us through. For better, for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health. I said, this is the time to be there for my wife. So I requested for a leave from work, and there I was with my wife, doing everything for her, feeding her in bed, standing with her in prayer, playing music, putting gospel music, praying. Sometimes I would even bring a hot meal, and when I bring it to her, she's not ready to take it. By the time she wants to take it, it has cooled, and then she tells me, go back. It was quite an experience. But we thank God that through that time, God did a miracle. When she went back for a scan, because now she was supposed to undergo an operation, but she requested for a scan. And to cut the long story short, the scan found that she had a complete cervix, externally and internally. That is what they call a miracle. It was a miracle. God performed a miracle for us. Actually, she went on to deliver, and she expected to have an operation, but somehow the doctor was delayed. I believe it is God who was delaying the doctor. And by the time the doctor arrived, she had already pushed the bouncing baby girl. I believe there was prayer that led us to that miracle, but I believe a committed husband who committed and said, I'll be there through thick and thin, through this sickness. God respected that also. There are miracles that you're going to see through your commitment with your spouse. So no matter what comes, just stick to your partner. Learn a lesson from posho and beans. Wherever you find posho, you find beans. Just look closely, you'll find beans. Posho always goes with beans. It seems that in our absence, posho signed a commitment with beans where we were not and said, wherever you are, I will be. So posho is always with beans. Husband, be committed to your spouse, to your wife. Wife, be committed to your husband no matter what. Sign a commitment like posho and beans. That's the great commitment. I hope that blesses you. God bless you. See you in the next video. If this video has been a blessing to you, please consider sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Whenever you comment, it helps us to know what kind of content to bring you next time. Whenever you subscribe, it ensures that you never miss a video anytime it comes up. So see you in the next video.